Hello and welcome to another yoga practice with Driven. My name is Beth, and if you are looking for some core work today, you are in the right place. And if you weren't, no surprise, strong core is so important, not only because it looks good, but more importantly, it's good for our overall health. So today's practice will be a lot of strengthening of the core and other movements as well. So I'm glad you're here. Let's start here by preparing for our practice with our breath. So sitting in a nice simple pose, or whatever is comfortable for you. Root down through your sitting bones, feel your sitting bones on the mat, and then lift up through your spine, lifting up out of your hips, top of the head towards the ceiling. Close your eyes. Know that you're on your mat. Give yourself a pat on the back for making the choice to be here today. Good for you. And connect with your breath. The miracle of breathing, inhaling another breath today, and exhaling. So just notice the integrity of your breath today. See if it's more shallow or maybe it's moving into a deeper breath. No judgment, just noticing, but try to keep your thoughts here for maybe about 4 more breaths, not letting any distractions pop into your head, but they always do, don't they? And just knowing or seeing if in the stillness the breath is starting to slow down automatically. If it's not, you can purposefully slow down your breath. Maintain control of your breath. And then just turn your head from side to side, or in any way that feels good, just to loosen up the neck a little bit. So slowly move with the breath. And be mindful of how the neck is feeling, how it's moving. Bring the head to center, and then let the head fall back. And then chin to the chest. While you're doing the last few of these, notice what's happening to your spine. Make sure you're still sitting up straight, rooting down through your hips. Belly's pulling in. So much to think about. And then bring your head to center. All right, let's come onto our back, starting right away. Knees are bent, feet are flat on the mat. Bring your shoulders all the way down. And you can, for now, just bring your arms out to the sides. Feet are hip distance apart. And just let the hips roll, or the knees roll from side to side. Massaging the lower back. So as your knees are coming across, just maybe add a little pelvic tilt so you get more surface area covered from this movement. I'll do one more time on each side. And then bringing the knees back to center. Walk your feet, your heels a little closer towards your hips. You can bring your arms down to the mat, palms up or down. Check your shoulder blades. See if they're digging into the mat. If they are, just kind of walk your shoulder blades in towards the center line of the mat. That will tuck them in. We're going to start with a bridge pose. So root down through your feet. Tilt your pelvis. So navel is pulling in, spine is pressing into the mat, and then peel your spine away nice and slowly. Keep those glutes engaged. Pull the pelvic floor up. And as you're rising, notice how close your chest is coming to your chin. And then slowly roll down, one vertebrae at a time, trying to make curves through your back, articulating the vertebrae. I heard some cracking in my back. I'm not sure if you did too. Let's do that a couple more times. So with control, tilt your pelvis. Reach the hips up. Squeezing the glutes, you can hold here and then roll back down. Really on that down roll, we really want to exaggerate the curving of the spine, letting the lower back land last. 2 more times. This movement is really good too for noticing the breath because it's so slow. So we're exhaling here and then inhaling as you're releasing one vertebrae at a time, keeping the belly pulled in. This is good for a lot of parts of the body, not just the core. One last time, and we're going to hold this one up and keep it up. So press those hips up as far as you can. Make sure you're rooting down into your feet, and then walk your shoulder blades in towards the center line of the mat. So you lift a little bit more. Hold here. Pull the belly in. And we're going to add some gentle pulsing here. So just squeeze the glutes and lift up and down a little bit. Up and down. So we're squeezing as we're going up and releasing when we're going down. Same with the belly. Really starting to feel that burn in the glutes. Keep it going. If this starts to hurt your knees, make an adjustment. Nothing should hurt. Burning is not the same as hurting. I don't know, it probably doesn't sound right, but you know the difference between a sharp pain that just doesn't feel right and a burning muscle because it's working. 5 more. Breath is still slow and steady. 2 more. All right, and then slowly release the back down, one vertebrae at a time again. Oh, that felt good. Adjust the shoulders, and then just bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice hug. Press the thighs against the torso, and then straighten the legs. Nice stretch here. Good morning stretch. Interlace your fingers, press your palms away, point your toes, get nice and tall on your mat, maybe even grow a little bit. And then release and come back. All right, so simple crunches. Bring your knees up, your feet up off the floor. 90 degrees at the knees and the ankles. Bring your hands behind the head. And what I see a lot is this in a crunch. And that's not what we want to do. That puts too much pressure on your neck. And if you're doing crunches and your neck is hurting, that's just an indication that maybe you're using more of your neck than your belly. Add a little bit of a pelvic tilt here. Pull the navel all the way in. So this is fully engaged. And we're just going to lift this much, just a little bit off the floor. Elbows are still out. Nothing comes in. And there's a nice big grapefruit under your chin. So you're keeping your head in alignment with your spine. And then release. We're going to go that slow. So lift and inhale, come down. Lift and come down. Is your belly shaking? Mine is. Let the weight, we're going to keep doing this. So continue with the movement. Keep those elbows out. And let your whole head, the whole weight of your head fall into your hands so you're not tempted to use your neck muscles. I feel it. 5 more. Keep those feet high. 3, 2, and this last one we're going to hold up. So hold, hold, hold. Let the head just fall into the hands. Lift one more vertebrae up off the mat. Feel the belly. You feel those abs right now? You've got them. Enjoy. Maybe a little higher if you can. Keep those elbows out. Breathe. And release. Oh my goodness. Pull those knees in. Release your arms and just rock from side to side. Bring those knees all the way to the mat. Keep the opposite shoulder on the mat. And then come back up and over to the other side. That's good work. I like to do that while I'm watching TV. Just get on the floor and start doing those crunches. All right. So some more crunches. This time we're going to do side crunches. So bring the knees back up to center. Hands behind the head. This is going to be a little bit different. So keep the right knee bent, straighten the left leg. And we're going to bring the elbow and the knee together. And then bring that back to center. And then the opposite leg comes in. So we're constantly almost like pedaling the legs. So you can get started if you haven't already. So pedaling the legs, nice and slow. Don't rush through this either. And try to use your side body to lift you over and not your neck. So, if you're feeling it in your neck, just think of how you can move from your shoulder. And it's not even about the elbow touching the knee. It's more about lifting the shoulder up off the mat and turning to the side. So focus more on that. Nice and slow. Working the obliques. So I really like to follow Hatha Yoga, which is a more ancient yoga teaching. This was not in the Hatha Yoga books. But building a strong core is important, not only for yoga, but for a healthy body. So a few more times on each side. Are you feeling it? I'm feeling it. And then one more. Let's do it. And release. Oh my goodness. Oh, that felt good. Bring your left knee into your chest. Extend your right leg out. Give yourself a nice hug. Press that thigh into your torso. Great for digestion. So squeeze it in. Massage those internal organs. And then switch sides. And release. All right. Another core sequence. One of my favorites. Starting in this reverse tabletop position again. Here's the pattern. It's called lift, straighten, up, and down. So here in tabletop, we're going to lift our head, neck, and shoulders up off the mat. We're going to straighten the legs perpendicular to the floor. And then we're going to use our core muscles to roll up into a seated position with the arms up overhead. So you can release your heels to the mat. Which is part of the sequence. Or if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, keep your heels up off the mat. So you're up here, and then you're going to lower one vertebrae at a time, bringing the arms back overhead and coming back to that starting position. Okay? So let's try it. We'll do a few. So starting out in tabletop, we're going to lift, straighten, roll up. Nice strong back here, nice and tall. Lift up out of your hips, straight back, reach up towards the ceiling, and then roll down with control, one vertebrae at a time. Bring the knees back. Lift, straighten, roll up. Nice and tall, reach up high, and then roll down. So that's the pattern. Go at your own pace, but go nice and slow. Don't rush this. Lift, straighten, roll up, reach, and come down. Lift, straighten, roll up, and roll down. Couple more. Lift, straighten. Nice hamstring stretch here. Roll up, and roll down. Do about 3 more. And as you get comfortable with the pattern, see if you can monitor your breath for a few rounds. Seeing if you're breathing steady. And the rule of thumb that we go by in yoga is we inhale when the chest is open, like in this part of the sequence, and then we exhale when the chest is closing, like in this rolling down. So you can check on that and see how that's working for you. But always trying to move in control, so also trying to not let the momentum move you. Sometimes that's easier said than done, I know, but we want to be mindful of that. Okay, 2 more. I don't know about you, but I'm suddenly getting very hot. Last one right here. Lift, straighten, roll up, and roll all the way down. That's it, we did it. Using control, especially on that rolling down. Bring those knees in. Give yourself a hug. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders up off the mat. Wrap your arms around your shins. Chin at the chest. From side to side. Oh, some cracking. Okay. Release. Just come down into the mat and just notice. We'll just have a little resting pose here before we go on to the next thing. So bring your feet out to the edges of the mat. Let your knees fall in towards the center. And just bring your arms to the sides, palms facing up. Deep breath into the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Remember, the longer exhale is going to slow down your heart rate. So if you're feeling like your heart rate is up, let your exhale be longer than your inhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. All right, nice job, everybody. Next sequence, I meant to say, come into cat and cow. So nice strong posture here. Let's do a few cat and cows to neutralize the spine. So inhaling and exhaling. A few more, moving at your own pace. Adding any other movement that your body is asking for right now. Make this practice your own. Moving with the breath. And then pausing in your tabletop, tuck your toes. Let's move into down dog. Pressing the hips up and back. Let's walk it out a little bit, nice and slowly. Let the head drop so that the top of your head is directly opposite the mat. And pause, pushing those hips up and back. Bend your knees if that feels better, but get a nice movement through the hips. Feel that stretch through the spine, pushing the mat away from you with your hands. And then when you're ready, lift your right leg up as high as you can. Let the hip go with it. So don't worry about keeping the hips in alignment. Lift up high and then bend that knee. Point that knee up towards the sky so the right foot is kind of falling down towards the earth. Take a peek under your arm. So notice how that feels. A lot of the stretch is on the left leg, so notice that. You can stay right here. Keep that knee high if you want. Relax the head. You can turn the head from side to side. You can shift forward and back if that feels good. And if you want to pivot on that left foot and go into wild thing, feel free. That's always just a fun pose. Releasing that right leg. And then lifting the hips, reaching the hands up overhead, squeeze the glutes together, maybe a little rainbow with the body there. Nice stretch, and then come back to center. Back to down dog, pedal it out. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So find your beautiful down dog. And bring your left leg up. I always get so excited when I'm out and about and I see a dog in down dog pose. That cracks me up. All right, lifting that left leg nice and high. Don't worry about the hips. Bend that left knee and twist at the waist, really twist. Stack that left hip over the right. Shine that knee up towards the sky. And again, you can stay right here if you want. You can add any kind of movement that you think would help you. Or you can try that nice stretch, pivot on the right foot. And then come all the way up, reaching, squeezing, stretch through this side body here on the left side. As you reach behind you, up overhead, you can let the head fall. And then come right back over. Just pedaling it out again. Now bring your knees to the mat. And let's pause in child's pose because we're going to do some plank work now. I want to make sure our wrists are feeling ready and good. So walk your hands towards the top of your mat. Release your elbows down, forehead to the mat. Turn your palms up and open and close your fists. Couple of nice deep breaths here. And then we'll go through a plank sequence and wrap it up. These core classes go by pretty fast. All right, so coming out of your child's pose, bring your hands to the top of your mat. Here we go, plank. It's one of those poses that works the whole body, but especially the core. So step your feet back. Push the mat away, squeeze everything you've got, head in line with your spine. And just to keep it interesting, we'll add some movement here. Bring the left foot off the mat over to the left, tap the floor, and come back. And then the right foot taps out and comes back. That's the movement. Left out, left in, right out, right in. Keep going. Find a pattern for your breath. Maybe inhaling on the left leg, exhaling on the right leg, but everything is slow and steady. A few more times. You can do it. Stay with me. If you need to modify, go right ahead. Bring your knees to the mat and hold in a modified plank. One more time on each side. Here we go. All right, coming down into hero's pose, just sitting on your heels. Bring your arms into cactus pose. Inhale, bring your elbows back. Exhale, bring them up overhead. Inhale, reach back. And then release your arms to the side. Just roll your shoulders, shake them out. Bring your hands to your thighs. Deep breath in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. So we're going to do another plank series, but before we do, bring the backs of your hands together in front of you. And then release your elbows down. Not, just nice and gently. Get that little stretch through the wrists. And then release. Bring your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers and point your palms down as much as you can. Shoulders back and down. And then release, bring your arms up in front of you. Left arm is out. Grab your left fingers with your right hand and just pull back. And then same thing with the other hand. And shake it out. All right, one more plank sequence, and then we'll get ready for Shavasana. So it's going quickly. All right, coming back into plank pose. And look, you can always modify. Walk your feet, your knees back. Drop your hips. Try to feel a straight line from your knees to the top of your head. All right, so you can stay here or you can come into full plank, yogi's choice. We're going to take opposite hand to opposite shoulder. Try to keep the body still and only move the arm from the hip socket. That's hard to do. but that's what strengthens the core. So here we go, starting with a strong foundation. Shift your weight to your right and bring your left hand to your right shoulder. And then other side. Side to side, shoulder taps. Feel that core holding you up. Couple more. Coming back to your plank, knees to the mat. Nice job, everybody. Cross your ankles, shift your weight over, make your way all the way down to your mat. Oh, feels good to lie down after plank poses. It's always good. All right, bring your shoulders to your knees, give them a squeeze. And then grab your big toes with your two peace sign fingers and soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. Deep breath in and pull down. So you get a nice stretch through the groin. Make sure that the tailbone is down on your mat. And rock from side to side. All the way over. See if you can bring the knee onto the earth as you rock. Happy baby pose. And then come back to center. Bring the soles of your feet together, release them to the mat. I've planned for us to do Shavasana in butterfly pose, but if you would rather do it any other way, feel free. Some people like to put their hands under their hips for butterfly pose to release the lower back. So, Ed, you can add that. However you're going to do your Shavasana, know that you're in that pose. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, soften your muscles. Release your body into rest. And connect with the inhale and exhale motion of the breath. Having gratitude for each additional breath we get. And we'll stay here for about 6 more long breaths. And then when you're ready, release your posture. If you're in butterfly pose, just straighten your legs, move your body in a way that wakes it up gently. So try to stay with us till the very end of our practice, just practicing completing what you started. Coming back into a seated position so we can seal our practice with one last breath. Nice and tall on your mat. Deep breath in and exhale through your nose. You can add that ujjayi breath by tightening your throat 2 more times. Inhale. Nice long exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And in gratitude, bring your hands to heart center. The light in me salutes the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Excellent ab workout. I hope you're watching all the driven videos on YouTube. They're so good, especially during these times where it's hard to get out. So take advantage of them, and I hope to see you next time. Be safe, everybody.